Hey guys, all right. I am so happy to do this interview here. So me and this lovely lass have seen each other like 4 different times at 4 different events, and we've just batted each other's eyes at one another, and we have networked and shaken hands and introduced each other to people, but I have not had the honor and privilege to interview her yet. And she has an awesome story. You're doing some really awesome things, and now you get a chance to meet our audience. I call it the digital handshake.
Hi, hello audience.
So guys, this is Livia Caudell, and you're doing some pretty awesome things. So tell them what those things are and how it can help them.
Totally. So one of the things I'm working on is Conscious Wealth Builders, which is a socially conscious entrepreneur community.
I love the name.
Yeah, and you know, it's like what people ask, well, what is this whole conscious conversation? And really, I use it because there's a huge movement that's happening inside of conscious capitalism. And so I'm just really piggybacking off that name. But for me, when I was little, I was an entrepreneur. I used to sell my toys in a red wagon door to door. I'd do anything to make a buck. So entrepreneurship runs in my blood. What I noticed is that when I was little, I noticed people stepping over each other to make a profit. There was like this greed thing going on. We're like destroying the planet. And that, as a kid, didn't even make sense. Like, the system in which it is designed currently is clearly not working. And I knew that as a child. And so it was in my later years where I really started getting empowered. Like, I had these amazing, profound spiritual experiences I shared here earlier at this conference. When I was 15, I was laying on the couch and I had this lucid dream. And I could still feel my body on the couch, but I call it the movie screen, popped up, and I could see me walking down this aisle surrounded by these people in white robes. There was this beautiful angelic humming sound. And there was no words that were spoken.
Can you reenact that sound? How did that sound?
No, I don't even know. But it was so, like, the feeling was this state of ecstasy, this pure and conditional love. And that's all I can really, there's no description. It's just the most amazing blissed feeling that I had ever experienced in my life. And then, like, I could still feel my body on the couch. So I was going in and out of this state of, like, I'm 15 years old. Imagine, right? You're like, what the heck is going on? So I wake myself up out of this, and it was so vivid, it was so real. And at that point in my life, I was, my dad had gone to prison, my mom was an alcoholic, I was using drugs, I was drug dealing, and, this spiritual experience,
You were 15 and drug dealing? Wow.
Yeah.
It has to be pretty tough to...
Yeah. I mean, growing up in a violent home, and that's how cynical I was at age 15. It was like the pain was so deep at age 15. That magic that when I was a kid was completely gone, And so there was just a lot of despair. And so that spiritual experience was so profound for me. It awakened something. Oh, is that a word? Awoken?
That works.
Awakened.
Yeah.
Awakened. It awakened something within.
I was doing an interview with Big Boy in his studio at Big Boy's neighborhood, and I said domicidal. That was the word I made up while I was doing it. And he's like, domicidal, I'm going to use that. He started using it.
I love it. Yeah. So we just make up words. So, it was one of those moments where it's like, it turned something on within me that gave me hope. It gave me something. For me, what it meant was that I was put on this planet to make a difference. And that set me on a journey to really discover, who am I? What was that experience? Obviously, it was more than just this, because at that point, it was like, okay, you go to school, you go to college, you maybe get married, you have some kids, and then that's life. Like, life was mundane.
That's how it works?
Well, that's how it had occurred to me, And then after
I haven't gotten the notice yet.
And then that spiritual experience.
I don't think that's how it works for an entrepreneur.
No, but that sparked something within me that there's more to life, but in the spiritual sense, though, too.
Okay, so Olivia, so when you were 15, you had this amazing experience, and what was the transition when you started doing Conscious Wealth Builders and being an entrepreneur, being a businesswoman?
Yeah, well, that's when I really got that I could actually be someone that could make that change in the world, right? Because here I was thinking that that's just how society is. That's just how society operates in business, is they step over each other to make a profit. We're going to destroy the planet, and that's just how life is going to go. I didn't really feel like I mattered. So that really sparked the journey, right? To really discovering
How old were you?
Conscious creator. When I was 15,
But when you were 15, you didn't own a business and you didn't have conscious.
I started a business when I was 18. I got into real estate. And I really wanted to transform the real estate industry. So I created a company called Conscious Investors. And it was really about making a difference for people. And so that's always been my core value, is making a difference in business and making sure that people are treated, with dignity and respect and honesty and transparency. And those are my core values. And I stand for that, like, religiously. I will never step over someone to make a profit.
I love it. We have a lot in common.
Yeah.
A lot.
I know we do.
We are all about protecting the middle person. And I'll tell you a little story. So, friend of mine that I met and I was part of a movie project, and she was one of those people that brought one of the fundings to the table, and I just dug her attitude, dug her vibe, and so we get on a phone call and there's 6 or 7 top level people, executive producers and the funders and whatever, but I also noticed that particular girl wasn't on the call, right? And I noticed that basically they were trying to cut her out, and everybody being greedy and trying to do money, right? So I got on the phone. This is a true story. I got on the phone and I was like, hey guys, where's so-and-so, right? I'm not gonna mention her name because I don't know if she wants me to or not. I have to ask her, but I was like, where is this girl? And they were like, well, don't worry about it. One guy jumped on and he was like, oh, don't worry about that. We got her taken care of, whatever. And I was like, I had it in my gut, It was just a feeling in my gut. And I'm like, this isn't right. She should be on this. Like, because her investor guy is on this call. Why isn't she, right? And so I'm like listening to the call and I'm like, look guys, I want to know where she is. And the one guy was getting kind of upset because I kept asking, like, I'm listening, and then I'm like, hey, I'd like to know, right? So I happened to get really upset and I said, you know what, I'm out. And I was the one this is the cool thing when you have power, right? Because you can help people. I was the one that brought one of the investors. I brought 2 of the actors and I brought the distributor. So I had 4 people on that project. So I was like, look, I don't like this. I'm not feeling the vibe. I'm not feeling what it is. I'm out, right? And so I hung up. And then so my friends had my back and they hung up and the call kind of went away, right? So the director of the movie calls me up and he's like,